How's it going, everybody? Mr. Holton here, and yes, as you can see from the title and thumbnail, we finally have an update on the next official patch for Baldur's Gate 3 that's releasing this September. Now, before we jump into the official community update, I have to let you guys know that there are some spoilers here, but I'll be letting you guys know when we jump into the spoiler territory in this video. Right, so starting off, it says Community Update 28 closed beta, as they're currently testing the patch. That's why it says that. This summer, outside the temperature is rising, the chemical aroma of sunscreen is inescapable, and your dad is on his third day wearing the same sweat-stained tank top. What better time than now to retreat indoors and catch up on the latest updates arriving in Baldur's Gate 3. Joke's on them, I never stepped outside. Coming to you this September, Patch 7 rolls out the perfect escape with split-screen updates, brand new cinematics for evil endings, plenty of bug fixes, plus our official modding toolkit, which we talked more about in our last community update. And in case you need a refresher, mods will be coming to consoles as well. So all my Xbox and PlayStation friends, just hold on. You're gonna get mods as well. Maybe not that advanced in comparison to some of the PC mods that are there, but that's just because you need to have some form of structure for the game. But I just need to let you guys know that it's not going to be the amount of insane mods there are for PC, unfortunately. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Okay, so let's take a look, and as always, beware, spoilers lay ahead. First of all, this is not really spoilers, split screen updates. Dynamic split screen mode is incoming. This is really cool. With our next update, friends will no longer be eternally confined to their side of the screen because the power of friendship transcends all obstacles, including screen partitions. When playing in co-op, you'll now have the option to have split screens merge into a single screen when you're near one another. You can access this directly from the HUD and within the game settings, both in and outside of combat. That's really cool. Now, I rarely play on console. I don't think I've ever played co-op on PlayStation or Xbox. So I wonder, is this a usual feature for a lot of games? Let me know in the comments below. Honor mode improvements for all of you difficulty heads. We're continuing to make improvements to combat in Honor mode 2. With patch 7, even more creatures have been bestowed additional legendary actions, including the Boulette. God, I hate the bullets. Everyone's favorite neighborhood surgeon, Malus Storm, and Githyanki Chirai Tskanina, Tri-Har-Rak, and Ptaris. Sorry to all the Githyanki out there. Dror Ragslin will now also be able to use a new spell called Arachnid Compulsion to rally the spiders that reside in the nearby pit to fight the real enemy. You. Man, rip to everybody who likes those spiders. I always help them out whenever I'm there dealing with the goblins and Dror Ragslin. Man, that's gonna suck. And I haven't gone into honor mode yet, but I will, I promise. Anyway, let's get into the modding toolkit. With this update also comes our official modding toolkit. Come September, you'll be able to load up your game with a range of new game mods and even try your hand at making some yourself. We recommend giving our modding FAQ a look for more information on what modding support means for Baldur's Gate 3, and I think I covered that in my last update video. We're currently working with Baldur's Gate 3 mod authors during our closed alpha who have been busy testing out the toolkit. To find out what some of the mod authors have been working on during the closed alpha, keep reading. The toolkit itself will give you everything you need to edit or create entirely new content, including items, equipment like weapons, armors, consumables, and miscellaneous items, cosmetics, including different hair, beards, and other textures, classes and subclasses, creating new variants and modifying existing ones to edit abilities, powers, and skills, and races. These can be created and edited to determine overall appearance as well as their individual powers and abilities. I'm assuming these are going to be the facial mods that use, especially on PC. There's a lot of really good face or head mods that allows you to, get some really good looking tabs or dark urges. Dice skins, you'll also have the ability to edit or redesign the appearance of your dice. User interface, including extensions and restyling of the game UI. Quality of life improvements such as mods that edit or improve gameplay that don't rely on unsupported elements. Okay, now let's get into some slight spoilers here because it says there are evil endings at the bottom, so just so you know. And of course, patch 7 will also be bringing several new cinematics that offer your more evil playthroughs a grander finale. So for anyone who felt like the evil endings weren't good enough or powerful enough or, well, grand enough as it says here, well, Looks like we're gonna have a good time. From avatar origin characters, including the Dark Urge, to the multiple different pathways you can take as your own player character, each new cinematic is yours to discover through nefarious means. Damn! Oh, okay, so they're putting in some, like, actually varying evil endings. I thought it was just gonna be like one for some reason. But okay, this is cool. While we don't want to give anything away just yet, you can feast your eyes on the teasers below and be on the lookout for more heading your way soon. So we're getting several evil ending variations. This is really cool. Would you lie with me and just forget the world? I'm guessing this is like a classic Dark Urge ending where you just choose to kill everything and everyone. And the Dark Urge is just resting and chilling. Just, you know, kind of having accomplished his mission right there. Or control, my sugar boo, I'm levitating. So this one, everybody dies. This one, you control everybody. I like that. I like that idea. We also, of course, you know, spoilery, we have the big brain back here. Okay, so Dark Urge bug fixes, along with the new evil endings cinematics coming this patch, we've introduced a number of improvements and bug fixes to our Dark Urge players, ironing out camera pops, missing inspiration, visual effects, and a few other issues. For instance, a bug has now been fixed where combat sometimes fails to trigger in the event that you decide to murder one of your companions as the Dark Urge and attack the party. This will now lead to combat with the rest of the gang, and Mithara will now respond accordingly if you've been stripped of Baal's influence. We may have also let a certain bard now join the party as a controllable character if there's an empty slot, temporarily, of course. Interesting. Is that, could it be our favorite girl or our favorite bumbling bard? And here we have something about Gortash. Will we be able to kiss Gortash? We hear you plead. Why would you? But okay, I feel you. Okay. I understand. I accept some of you want to romance him for some reason. I can't imagine why. But people say we want to kiss Gortash. Listen, he's a complicated guy who's busy contemplating the minutiae of death cult office politics. Baby girl doesn't have time for to kiss. Origin character bug fixes. This update will also see improvements made to some cinematics and game dialogues in Origin characters, specifically things like clipping issues, a couple of broken triggers for quests, dialogues and romances, the odd case of retrograde amnesia, and persistent exclamation marks. Those I've had a couple of times, actually, even in the base game. And the Blade of Frontiers will no longer absent-mindedly swing his sword mere inches from the aorta of shorter races who tried to recruit him. Let's look at some of the highlights. Okay, so Will highlights. Patch 7 includes a heap of fixes for Will, ranging from improvements to his dialogue reactivity to fixes for romance scenes. If you've experienced issues triggering the romance scene with Will, this update will fix that. Should your relationship be headed in that direction, the cutscene in question will now trigger when you speak to Will at camp before your long rest. A bug that had been preventing his romance greeting from triggering has also been fixed, so players in Act 3 who have a stable, loving, and a committed relationship with Will now see his romance greeting triggering correctly. Thank God. We've fixed Will's dialogue reactivity during the epilogue for his partnered players who have either joined Karlach in the Hells or Lae'zel in the Rebellion. And we also determined there simply weren't enough opportunities to kiss Will during the epilogue. This update rectifies that with the option to ask for a kiss and more pathways of Will's epilogue dialogue. And if you're in holographic form during the epilogue, he'll no longer automatically assume he's talking to Lae'zel, which was weird. Oh, so that was a problem, huh? Okay, that's a little odd. That would probably take you out, especially during the ending. Astarion highlights. In patch 7, we've made improvements to the facial animations of your character during some kissing cinematics, including with the Ascended Astarion. Ooh, a lot of people are gonna be liking this. Damn. We've also made tweaks to how Origin characters react within certain cutscenes to enhance their emotional impact. Ooh, for example, companions will show Astarion more empathy when he loses his ability to withstand sunlight. That's a good thing because I wasn't super happy with how that ended up in the original ending, how people reacted when he lost his ability to withstand the sun. So that's cool. I like that. We'll have to see what happens after that. It's going to be interesting to see. Lae'zel highlights. Lae'zel will now wait a little longer at her recruitment site if you tell her you'll be returning. And once she's set up at camp, she will also cycle through more and more varied idle animations. This update will also put an end to an annoying issue where resurrecting Lae'zel on the beach in Act 1 would cause her to appear in the party line but not in the world. blocking you from leaving Act 1. That's an annoying bug. Okay. Karlach highlights, along with some general fixes for Karlach. She will now react to Damon if she finds him dead after he has told her that he can help her. That sketchy fade to black that follows her final scene in Avernus, which also unintentionally gave you a very brief glimpse of the region and gameplay mode, was a visual bug that has also been fixed. Okay. So no more black screen. The dialogue block caused by choosing to stay with a different companion the morning after your second romance scene with Karlach is no more. Also, she'll no longer brush the shaved side of her head during her camp idol animation. Wrong side, Karlach. And Gale highlights. Damn, there's a lot of highlights. With a few tweaks that camera angles and fixes to animation pops, repeated dialogue, and missing VFX, visual effects, we've polished up Gale and his scenes and further refined his donation UI. That panel that opens when donating magical items to Gale, this will now show all the items eligible for donation, including those in your person, your party's inventories, and your traveler's chest. This is part of the work that began with hotfix 17 or 16 to improve the donation UI and update a player's ability to access certain quest-related items, which has now been completed. We're reinstating the intended behavior that was removed in hotfix 17 as a temporary bug fix to missing UI functionality. So if you now deny Gale a magic item 3 times in a row with magical items, either on your person, your party's inventories, or now from your traveler's chest, he will leave your party. Alternatively, selecting I'm not giving you anything, not now, not ever, will still cause Gale to leave your party forever. We've also patched up a bug that was preventing the final dialogue between Gale and Mystra from triggering, as well as a scene in the endgame that would cut off before you could kiss. Shadowheart highlights, in addition to fixing a few of her animation bugs, this update fixes a number of quest issues for Shadowheart. A bug that saw the Spear of Night either not being received or being spoken about as if it hadn't already been acquired is no more. Another bout of amnesia has also been fixed, in which Shadowheart occasionally thought Viconia was still alive after killing her. The Daughter of Darkness quest should now also close properly if you choose to surrender Shadowheart to Viconia, which you don't. And yes, we've tweaked a few kissing scenes for her too, fixing a broken romance cutscene that should have triggered after giving Shadowheart the Idol of Shar, and a kissing animation that will no longer kick in before the dialogue option is chosen. We've also polished up the appearance of neck kissing. Ooh. Ooh, in the words of Michelangelo, no great work of art is ever finished, and so too is our approach to the art of snogging. There's a lot of kissing updates here. Like, I'm not complaining, but there seems to have been a lot of issues with snogging. Party banter improvements. Prior to this update, party banter between companion characters was limited to the characters controlled by a single player. In patch 7, multiplayer parties will support banter between characters assigned to different players. This patch also resolves issues that have been rendering some romance party banters inaccessible while adventuring. Okay. That's good to hear, because that was kind of an issue when I was playing with my girlfriend. And then we have some closed alpha progress on the toolkit here. So if you guys want to check out some of the stuff they're talking about here with all the modding support, because we're actually getting some modders' words here for like how it's going. Some from the mod author Padme4000, who is currently working with Larian. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here to learn. If you guys want to check that out, you just, I've added the link to the comment section. So if you want to check out the official update, you can do that yourself here. But there's a lot of complicated information here. So if you're interested in that, go on and check it out. But to finish it off, closed beta July 22nd. Are you interested in playtesting patch 7 with all these bug fixes, updates to gameplay, and new features? We want to make sure we haven't broken anything or introduced something that will make your computer explode. We're kidding. Our legal representatives ensure. Some people have had some really massive issues with Baldur's Gate 3 ever since it released, unfortunately, like crashes, just things not loading, like scenes not playing out properly, being like stuck in the first act and things like that. So yeah, hopefully this patch isn't gonna break a bunch of stuff again, but that's also why they're having this playtest session and why it's taking so long to introduce this new update, because they need to make sure that they're not making things worse again. As much as I appreciate Larian for working so hard on the game and just releasing patch after patch, at some point you gotta make sure that you're limiting the casualties, so to speak. Registration now open. Head to the Baldur's Gate 3 store page here on Steam and register now for your chance to take part in the Patch 7 closed beta, which will go live next week on July 22nd. Entry to the playtest will be given to randomly selected registered players, and if you're selected, we'll let you know more about what to look out for, including partial patch notes and how you can report any issues you might come across. So remember to do that if you're interested to playtest, especially if you've had a lot of issues. I think that would be a good idea to jump in to give your feedback. Then we have some merch going on here, so if you want to check that out, you can do that as well. And finally, some final words here. It ain't goodbye just yet. It's hard to believe it's almost been an entire year since we launched Baldur's Gate 3, but the journey isn't over yet. Patch 7 won't be the final update for Baldur's Gate 3. We still have a few things up our sleeve, including many community requested features like crossplay and a photo mode to capture and share your unforgettable moments. Thank God. Okay, so photo mode is not coming with this patch, possibly in the next one or the next one after that, but it's good that we're actually getting more of these community updates. I'm thankful that I have something to talk about. And we're working on a host of other enhancements, from gameplay tweaks and quality of life improvements to bug fixes and performance optimizations. We'll keep you looped in on when those are likely to hit a little further down the line. In the meantime, stay in touch with us on socials, stay tuned, and don't forget to wear sunscreen. Very true. If you're going out to touch grass, sunscreen is super important in this day and age. Any case, I appreciate this. This was a really in-depth community update. I think this is one of my favorites so far. But let me know what your thoughts are, as always, in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. Mr. Holton, signing out.